Hey guys, on today's episode, we're working on the Ford F-150 Lightning. Of course, I'm talking about the electric version of the most popular selling truck worldwide. When I saw this come out, I said, this could be the ultimate mobile detailing truck slash daily driver if it can go off-road. And when it is off-road, can we use the onboard battery to power all the tools to actually clean the truck? We're gonna find out today on this episode of Drive and Protect. I literally swallowed a bug. So much for dinner. The Ford F-150 Lightning shares much of the F-150's regular body, but swaps the gasoline engine for a pair of electric motors with a choice of two different battery packs. The standard range has about 230 miles, while the extended has 320 miles. The one I'm working on today is the standard range Lariat with 452 peak horsepower and 775 foot-pounds of torque. It comes with all the leather trimmed, heated seats, push-button start, 360 view, and of course, the huge 15.5-inch touchscreen. But what I'm most excited about is the 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power onboard upgrade. Now, this could turn your daily driver into a detailing side hustle with the push of a button. But will it work? Now, with this Pro Power upgrade, the truck pretty much has outlets everywhere. 10 120 volt outlets, 2 in the cab, 4 in the bed, and 4 in the frunk, plus another 240 volt in the bed. But can it supply enough power for detailing all by itself? Let's find out if it works and how much battery will be used in the process. Okay, for test number 1, we're gonna do a very basic wash using the power washer that's already in the building. I'm gonna take the extension cord and plug it in here. Let me show you how it works. I changed around, there's a few buttons that you can push up here that will change into the Pro Power onboard. You can use the rear, the cab, and then the front or the frunk. Right now I'm using the middle part here. You can see everything seems to be ready to go. We have nothing plugged in right now, and keep track, we have 166 miles left on the battery. At the end, we'll see how much power we've used. If you come over here, this is the pre-existing power wash. I mean, it's all fixed in here. It's all hardwired and mounted. I unplugged it. The wire was all through here, and I have a plug in the back of this cabinet. All the bottles usually block it, so it's nice and pretty. I unplugged it and pulled it all the way down. So now you can see the cord. Here's the cord. There she goes. Press reset. Okay, come over here. Now the test is gonna be, will this light turn green? And, oh, we have power. Let's wash our truck. I am so happy right now. This is amazing. Buying a truck that can clean itself, so cool. Okay, quick update. We did about half the truck power washing, and then it said that it was overloaded, so I had to stop. I'm gonna go back in and see what it says on the screen. Pretty impressive that I could actually kick that much, because I know the power washer has a lot of amperage that goes through it. So let's check out what's going on here. So I'm starting it back up. Originally, you can see when it turned off, this section turned like that color, like faded. And so let's see right now, if I plug this bad boy in, what happens. Okay, reset button. And it seems to be functioning. No power washing. We got water, but no power. So heavy duty power washers like this one pull about 20 amps, and the standard 120 volt is limited, from what I've read on forums, to about 16 or so amps. In other words, we are right at the limit, and probably why it works so well for about 10 minutes before shutting itself down in protection mode. However, if I used the 240 volt outlet, I'm sure it would have worked fine, but I didn't have the proper pronged cord. Now, I have no doubt somebody watching is an electrical guru or engineer and can help clarify how to make it work, and I'll pin the most helpful comment to the top. Thank you in advance for your help. As a quick workaround, I borrowed Steve's from across the street. He's got a Home Depot-ish power washer. I hooked it up to the hose, plugged it into the truck, and although it wasn't even close to the amount of power of a professional power washer, this one pulled way below the amps on the 120, so we were good to go. I added some soap to the reservoir tank of the Home Depot power washer and then sprayed down the paint. Now, as you can see, there is a huge difference between a Pro power washer with a foam cannon versus just filling up the reservoir again on the Home Depot power washer, but it was a good start in our test. Now, clearly, it's not the soapiest thing in the world. It's not all foamed up, but it is enough to get some soap on there and kind of carry away the grime. You can see Look at that, a little bit of soap going on. Again, pretty cool. There you go, on the window you can see. Soap. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna give it a full wash. Afterwards, we're gonna see, can we actually dry the paint with the Master Blaster off the truck? Let's do it. Then I washed the paint by hand, final rinsed, and then brought out the Master Blaster to see if the Lightning could dry itself. The dryer only draws about 18 amps and it worked without overloading the system, even with both motors on the dryer in the on position, so we were good to go. So here's the update. We used the smaller power washer. Afterwards, we used the Master Blaster to help dry it off with hydrate and a towel. Now let's see how many miles are left. Right there, let's zoom in. 163, so we went from 166 to 163, so 3 miles to do a power wash and dry using the power supplied from the Lightning. Pretty cool, very reasonable in my opinion. Next, with the truck now clean, it was time to go off-road, test its capability, then re-clean it out in the woods. But first, let's go for a ride. Now, one of my favorite things about all electric vehicles, no less a truck, is the instant on power, that torque that you get, but at the same time, you don't have that engine noise, that drone, that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. Now, on the flip side, because we're driving an all electric, it's silent, but what you hear now, you hear that? That's the road noise. That's the tires making all that noise. So there is a downside to driving an electric. You really got to focus on the tires. So with that in mind, we're heading over to Ace Tire to meet up with my buddies. We're going to be switching out the OEMs for Vredestein Pinza all-terrains for multiple reasons. One, we're going off-road in a second. Two, they're super comfy, really rugged. But three, they're really quiet with the fact that they look 10 times better than the other tires. This thing's going to look real good. I arrived at Ace Tire and put the truck on the lift to replace the OEMs with the all-new Vredestein Pinza all-terrain. After the first tire was swapped, look at the difference from front to back. It's totally different, 100 times better by far. And check out the 4-groove tread pattern for increased traction, light snow, loose surfaces, difficult terrain, that kind of thing. And the difference when compared side by side with the OEM tread, it's just night and day. If you're unfamiliar, Vredestein is a European tire brand over 100 years old that focuses on safety combined with design. Now, as you can see, the treads and the sidewalls are designed by legendary Italian design house Giugiaro Design. If you remember, my R8 wears the Vredestein Ultrac Vorti Pluses. They're the same exact tire brand as these, and the sidewall design is unlike any manufacturer I've ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous. The ones I'm having swapped out today are the Vredestein Pinza all-terrain, compatible with pickup trucks, crossovers, and SUVs that want the off-road capabilities, comfort, and that rugged look of an on- and off-road terrain tire that is quiet, but at the same time has enough traction to corral the insane torque of an all-electric truck. So it's a bit of a tricky balance that gets you the best of both worlds. With the truck off the lift, test 2 is to take her off-road and play in the mud a little bit with the off-road mode clicked on. Keep in mind these tires still have a 70,000 mile warranty, even on a super heavy electric truck like this one, which is pretty crazy all things considered. Once I was done making a mess in the mud, I went out into the deep woods and just played around in the dirt going up and down the trails with absolutely no issue for what I would consider average off-road use with an electric truck. Now, if you want to go all Dukes of Hazzard and get crazy, then get a Raptor and have a good time. But for recreational weekend truck enthusiasts, you should be in really good shape with the Ford Lightning. Next, with the truck parked out in the woods after my playday, I turned on the Pro Power onboard system and used the Pro Foamer to lubricate the paint. Now, for the record, I didn't use a power washer because I didn't bring any water with me. If you do have a water container in the bed, meaning for a professional or let's say a side hustle, a power washer can be used here and then just draw from that container. But in this case, simple use is just the Pro Foamer, especially if you're a weekend warrior and not a professional detailer looking to do just a basic wash in the middle of the woods. Likewise, if you want to get super fancy, a pancake compressor could be run from the truck for continuous feed in the sprayer if you don't want to use the hand pump of the Pro Foamer. So you have tons of options here. With a truck that's super dirty, you'll need a lot of microfiber towels, a ton of patience, and then follow up with Hydrate for added lubrication and protection. Again, if you have access to water, I'm encouraging you to use it. If you have a power washer, if you have a hose, of course use it because it's going to add tons of lubrication. But in this case, in this test, I just wanted to see if it was feasible. For the muddy wheels, I used a lot, and I mean a lot of frothy and a scrub brush to get into the treads. Yes, it is super time consuming, but it does get the job done safely. At this point, with the paint now clean and the tire treads cleaner, but not necessarily perfect, I really wanted to try polishing the paint off of the battery. In other words, I'm polishing the paint on a truck in the middle of the woods with no source of power other than the truck itself. To a total detailing nerd, this is the coolest thing I've done in a very long time. This is called self-cleaning, if I've ever seen it before. It's called polishing with a view. Only thing, the problem that we have here is bugs everywhere. When I was done for protection, I added skin sealant because applying a coating in the middle of the woods with wind and dust and a gajillion bugs that were biting me and probably going to stick into the coating itself, it wasn't going to turn out well. So skin is the perfect option here if you happen to be out in the woods trying to coat your car. For the interior, there was dog hair everywhere, so I plugged in my Festool vacuum and it functioned as if it was just plugged into a normal wall outlet. There was no loss of power or suction, so it worked perfectly fine and did a great job. Cocoa floor mats were vacuumed, the rubber mats were frothied, and we were making progress in our off-road cleanup.
Hey, the picture of the old man that you asked you.
For the plastic and leather, I used lather in a microfiber towel straight from the bottle as we normally do. If I did have a compressor out back, I would run the hose around and use the compressed air to blow out the cup holders and the seat seams and things like that. On the screen, I used Obey to help minimize future fingerprinting on the touchscreen before wiping down the frunk to finish out my outdoor cleanup. Check this out. Underneath the frunk mats is a convenient cooler holding my lunch and lemonade for my post-detail picnic. Well, guys, there you have it. The big question is, can you use a Ford F-150 Lightning as a daily driver and a mobile detailing truck? And the answer is yes. You can put a compressor in the back, maybe some water, and you can absolutely have a side hustle on the weekend with your daily driver. Plus, you can actually bring lunch with you as well. Super cool. Now, on the flip side, is this a capable off-road vehicle? Hands down, yes. This thing is amazing off-road, and the fact that it's electric is just super cool. If you put Vredestein Pinzas on there, you're actually gonna get way more grip. It's gonna sound a lot quieter. Again, this is an electric car. There's no engine, so you're not going to hear any engine sounds. You just don't want to hear buzzing the entire time when you're on the highway, and you don't hear anything in this. Absolutely amazing. So the combo of both the tires, the truck, and the fact that you can mobile detail and bring lunch, it's pretty cool. As always, guys, if you have any questions, you know where to find me, Larry at ammonyc.com. See ya.